Hey guys, this is Chris and I'm doing an update review for the Lenovo ThinkPad T15G. So I'm going to talk about some follow-up points to the Lenovo T15G laptop. And first of all, I want to say thank you to all the people who responded to the review, who liked it, who disliked it, sent comments, concerns, complaints, and things like that. I really appreciate that. And what I plan to do is I plan to do some more reviews on tech stuff. It's just I'm a very busy person. I do engineering, so it's kind of hard to keep up with this. But I would like to expand more on the reviews. And I know I'm more of a real life guy. It's in real life. I'm not one of those guys that I don't want to eventually have to get paid by sponsors and doing tech reviews and lie about that, so you have to buy them and everything else. I actually want to do a personal review. It's down to earth and just like it is, no BS. But yeah, thank you to all the people who respond to my review. That's really cool. This laptop is a really good return on investment, ROI. I think with $2,500 I spent, and that's with the sale, this is a great laptop. I know some people were talking about they're waiting 4 months to get their laptop customized because of the chip shortage and everything else, and the unspecified virus of unknown origin. But I got this one when Lenovo had a sale and they had the highest configuration, and I figured that, okay, so my shipment is going to be about a week. That tells me that's going to be it's somewhere in the States, which it was. It was in North Carolina. They have a warehouse out there. So it was in the States. I got the laptop within a week. But if I configured it, not only would they charge me $500 extra for the price, or $700, I wouldn't get the laptop until like 4 months later. So I elected to get this one, which is 64 gigabytes of RAM, the i9. It was really good configuration for that price. And I think the web price I was at the time was like, teetering on 6,500. But at their web price and some employee discounts, I got it for a pretty good price. So, and when I say employee discounts, that means the company I work for, we have these benefits, and like Dell, Lenovo, tech stuff, Walmart, whatever, just a bunch of companies. They go to these companies that you work for, or whatever, and they give these benefits. It's like a benefits package. So, but in this one, I'm glad they have Lenovo on their list, and I definitely took care of that. So I took advantage of that. So I want to segue into the keyboard. I hardly use the keyboard, but when I do, usually I have two laptops going. The Dell is mostly for work, work-related stuff, and my laptop that I have, the T15G, is more personal. So I have that on the side, and I do that. And sometimes what I do is I hook it to external. Well, actually, most of the time I hook it to an external monitor. But when I don't, when I'm working on the keyboard or whatever, sometimes I have the monitor open, work on the keyboard. But yeah, I really use the monitor that it comes with, which that's the 64 hertz panel. And again, if this was a 120 hertz panel, this would be in competition with the Legion. And the reason why that they can't say this is a gaming laptop is exactly that right there. Anything else, it's superior to the Legion. The hardware is a lot more superior to the Legion compared to other laptops. But the panel is what gets them. Is what they can't tag it as a gaming laptop. It just they try to say that you can play games on it. You can, but who's gonna, a true gamer with a lot of multiplayers are not gonna deal with a 60 hertz panel. So, but if you hook it up to an external, I think the external, I have an Acer, and that went to 144. So I was pretty impressed with that. Anyway, so I think, yeah, with that, I don't use the keyboard as much, but when I do, it's amazing. This is the best keyboard I've ever laid my hands on. It's sexy, it's sleek, the feedback, the throw, it's just effing wonderful. I love everything about this keyboard. It's just fantastic. The mouse placement, so I think at the beginning I was like, it's kind of like to the left more, not centered. I'm glad they did that, because my hand it just fits perfectly. And I use the two fingers, index finger and middle finger, to scroll up and down. It just works flawlessly, just beautiful. And I really I never tripped on any words when I typed. I think usually I'm a big fan of the Control Insert, Shift Delete, and Shift Insert, because that's copy paste. But those are in a perfect place, and that's one thing I like about a keyboard is I hate the Control key either being too small or too big, and just placement of the keyboard. And this placement of the keyboard is perfect. It's what I was raised on, and it's to this day it's still one of the best keyboards. Any other keyboard, either the enter key is too big, the space bar is too long, the throw isn't perfect, it's too soft, it's too hard, it's too clacky, it's too silent, whatever you want to say. This keyboard is the best, hands down. I think it's so sexy. I just want to kiss it. I usually keep my performance high on this laptop, and if you go to the battery level, you select, there's three settings. There's best performance, there's the middle, and then best battery life. And typically, when I have it plugged in, I have best performance. And what I did notice, what I noticed about performance and battery life is that in the beginning, when I would unplug it and I would choose the best battery to see if I can get anything longer, because in the reviews what they said, oh, it's gonna last you like 2 to 3 hours to play some video games and whatever and blah blah blah, which is true. But what they don't tell you, what the reviewers don't tell you, and what I learned, it has to build up it builds up over time of how you work with this laptop. And what it does is it sees how you charge. It watches the battery level when you unplug it, figures out what you're doing with the laptop. And I would say give about a month. You're gonna notice that your laptop is gonna grow with you, which I like a lot.
We can get back to a normal life. Thanks, partner. Open the gates! Well, howdy. Niggas begging, they bleed on knees. I beat on beats, the DOG. I feed on beats. If niggas, I'm the ill nigga, no deal. Look at me, grill niggas suckin' with me, then I will erupt. Still, we must remain calm. Name calm in my dang palm. I'm a dark villain like Lace Vaughn or Akon with a cape fun. It ain't fun, you can't run. This is a horror flick your life is based on. I ain't gonna say that I'm running shit. That's the shit every rapper say and think about. Nigga just go in and look at the bank account. I just don't have enough patience to take it out. Niggas is hate now. I don't suffer from no paper drought. Always win is my favorite route. Into life I just lay it out. Being around me's a blessing, so you should take it out. Look, I'm about to make this bitch jump. Watch me, take it, watch me, watch me. I'm about to.
Joseph finds peace.
Hope you're happy with how things turned out. Gotta hand it to the Edeners. They have their low-tech lifestyle set up pretty well.
I hope you put a bullet in Josephine's head.
Alright, I just cut out all the loading time, loading screens, whatever. So I'm gonna... The microphone, actually, I think the sound is a little too high. Let me bring this down a little bit. So I'm gonna bring it down to maybe a 66. And I'll put it next to the fan. And again, this is on battery. I'll move this in the middle for the sound right now. It's a little, I mean, there's a little notice. I mean, it's 60 hertz, so it's running off the good card, but at the same time, you notice a little. I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Alright, I'm going to move this away from the speaker, and I'm going to move this towards the fan area. And I'm going to put this in the back of the laptop. So it's hardly any fan blowing. Just really calm, cool fan blowing. And you can see I'm playing a video game. Oh! Jeez. Give me a chance. Oh, sorry, kid. Oh, there's something else. Yeah, I don't see much choppiness on this. You know, previously it was choppy. And, you know, just to prove to you, let's go to options. Yeah, I can't see any fan movements. It's really cool. Like, it's just blowing like a. Can't really hear it. Let's see here. So the video is sitting at 60 refresh rate. The quality is high. Everything's on high. Anti-alias is on TAA. Motion blur is on. Okay, advanced settings. VSync is on. Enable frame lock is on. So it's going to be sitting at 60. Yeah, 60 here. Yeah. It's at 60. 60 frames per second. So, you know, and it's not that bad. Really, it's not that bad at all. It's still sexy. I can still play it. Like, I think when the BIOS updates, before the BIOS updates, I actually had, sometimes it would skip. But other than that, you can see, and now, again, I'm recording on the iPhone 6 Plus, so it's not the best. I don't have professional equipment. If I get to the point where I'm doing a lot of reviews and people like it and everything else, then I'll buy some professional equipment. But this is, you know, it's just me getting on, so. But you can see it's pretty smooth. It's very smooth. I mean, see, 60 frames per second. You know, I mean, it's not that bad. So it keeps up. And the seat thermals. It's a little warm. That's towards the bottom. Okay, now so the bottom center of the laptop, I would say about right here. Yeah, so right here it's a little warm. I would say maybe, I don't know. It's a little more than body warmth. I would say probably 10 to 15 degrees because it's not hot. It just feels hot. Now here it starts getting a little hot in the middle of the laptop. So, but I don't feel any fan blowing. And this is sitting still on the best battery performance. So let's get out of this. Let's get out of this. Quit the desktop. Yep. And I want to see what it says now. So now I see, if you see here, we're at 75%, 1 hour and 17 minutes, and the power mode is better battery. And you know, if we haven't even gone to the best performance, and I'm pretty sure it's going to play a lot better on best performance. Of course, you're going to have less battery, and like I said, you know, the frame rate's 60, and it's not plugged in, because you can see it's not plugged in at all. So I think someone was saying that, you know, hey, if I do this on regular applications, how many battery life I have left over. I noticed that when I first had this laptop, it would stay at a certain, like, 1 hour, 2 hours. But now what I think it's doing is, with the new BIOS updates, it's analyzing the usage of your stuff, and then it guesstimates. So that one time I had 4, now it's dropped down to 1 hour and 36 minutes. I guarantee what's going to happen is this is going to stay probably about, you know, the amount that it says. Because before I did a download through RJ45 network, and this was not bad. It was a lot of gigabytes I had download, so this held up pretty good. But earlier, when I was like paying some bills and doing documents or whatever, just really quickly, it went first from 1 hour, then to 3 hours, and then went to 6 hours. So I think with that light use, the battery on this particular setting was pretty good. But if I go to best performance, what's going to happen is this is going to change over time. So I think it's going to do some measurements, actually change this, it's going to do some more measurements, and then this will calculate what you're going to have remaining left. So I think when people look at this, they select a selector all of a sudden, or they just move it, and then they expect us to change, like, you know, instantaneous. And I think what happens is you need to actually do some things, and then it'll start looking at what you're doing, and then use AI to guesstimate the battery, and then I'll go and say, okay, this is how much you have left over. I'm still feeling like not even a breeze on the fan. And I put the microphone next to it. Here it is. You can't really hear it. And it's on best performance. Same with the back. Sorry for the camera, guys. And here's the other one too. There's a vent over here. So I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, I can barely hear it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to kick in. All right, see now look, this one says 3 hours and 54 minutes. Yeah, sorry, 3 hours and 54 minutes with best performance. So I think it's going, okay, now you're back at, you know, standard mode, you're not playing a game. I'm going to put my microphone on. You're going to do some light work. But once you go into a game, it's probably going to go back down to an hour again. But you can see now it just jumped up to 3 hours and 54 minutes. So 4 hours. So because Steam is idle at this point. And if I go into like say if I go into another game like Alien Isolation, it's probably going to go back down to an hour and so forth. But like with all this stuff going on, it's pretty spiffy. If I go into, like, say, Visual Studio Code, and let's go to Affinity Photo. Sorry. Again, guys, I'm sorry for using iPhone 6 Plus, but that's what I got right now. I don't like to have the updated iPhones because I'm more of a... waiting for that Microsoft Duo to come out. And let's just to see real quickly what it looks like now. 3 hours and 54 minutes. So I think what you're going to get, and this is best performance. That's what I found amazing about this. And if I go back down to battery life, best battery life, what's going to happen is this is going to change again. See, this is 2 hours and 3 minutes. So that's kind of weird. But what's going to happen is I think it's saying 2 hours and 3 minutes. But what's going to happen is since this changed to better battery, this is going to raise up to more than 4 hours. And then, because it's analyzing what I'm using now and so forth. I know they're not really doing anything, but, you know, I mean, there's threads in the background, of course, running. But I think what's going to happen is this is going to change and stay around 2.5, 3 hours, maybe 4, or whatever you want to call it. So it fluctuates. You just got to wait a bit and then it'll update. So I think that's pretty good. So, and again, gaming on the, I was blown away because when I first tried this, the gaming wasn't, I mean, it was okay, but you only had like an hour left over. And some things were a little choppy or something. And it got, you know, really hot. But now I think with the new BIOS changes, they're different. So I don't feel any heat. I feel a little warmth right about here as far as thermals are concerned. But most laptops get really, really hot in the middle. And I don't feel that here. It's just warm. Like you've been in a blanket for a while, you know, or some warm bread or something like that. So, but yeah, nothing hot here. And on the bottom, I would say in the middle, yeah, it's a little hot here, but not overbearing. It's going to be a little hot here because the graphics card and stuff is here. CPU and the graphics card on the side when you flip it over. You see the fingerprints? See, there's not really much at all, and this has been on the bottom the whole time. And this has been on a lot of like flat surfaces and, you know, rags, dead cats, you know, whatever. But you can see here that there's not a lot of fingerprints. This thing keeps a very good job in keeping fingerprints down. So it's the thermals, I would say, compared to like the Dell that I have over here, it gets really hot, but this doesn't get really hot. Now, of course, if I continue to play games, it's probably gonna get a little, you know, a little hot than that. See, let me show you something. See the fingerprints right there? That was from I don't know when, but that could easily be wiped off. But you can see here that I don't have a lot of fingerprints, and I didn't wipe it off before. I didn't wipe it off. Let's see. I got a rag here. I don't know if I can wipe it off like that. Yeah, I probably have to put some cleaner on it, but yeah. But when you look at it like from the top or whatever, I mean, you really have to go to like the side and look at the grit and everything else. But you can see here that there's a lot, but it's not really noticeable. You know, when you pick it up and look around and stuff like that, you know, it's not a lot. It's not noticeable. So yeah, I'm impressed, and I think with the new BIOS updates, really made this system even far more just friendly and usable. So, because I think in the beginning, there's better battery life at 4 hours and 58 minutes. Of course, I don't have anything open. Of course, let's see here. See, now I have all the bloatware of Lenovo and services and everything else, and that's going on. And if I go to the top, carry. Yeah, so I'll go to maybe 5 kilobits per second at the most. The CPU, Steam is going at a lot. The Lenovo IM controller, I'm gonna figure out that thing. But I think what it's doing is the companion app. I can't see it right here, the F6. So there's this thing called the Lenovo controller plugin host companion app, and I think what that's doing is I need to take Wireshark and monitor what they're doing is, but they're looking at the Wi-Fi, and they're analyzing and see if it's secure and so forth. I think it does a pretty good job with that. It is phoning home. There is phoning home stuff going on. So again, I don't know what yet, and it does write to databases on the system because it has to figure out what you're using. Totally understand that because it makes it more, it makes it smart to figure out what you're doing here. So, but with all those processes, and you're running at 4.5 and 58 minutes, that's pretty good. And as you can see, there's a lot of processes, a lot of services and so forth. Like if I scroll down, you'll see Steam is going on, and then lots of service hosts that call services out. I'm just scrolling down. Synaptics. And then other things like the Ubisoft core stuff, and then VMware stuff in the background and so forth like that, and then the Windows Driver Foundation stuff. So if you scroll up, you see that there's other things like the NVIDIA display, just OneDrive that's constantly doing something, PW Save, Logic Options. Logic Options is for the mouse, the trackball, the MX Logitech trackball. So that's always doing something because you have Flow. I have Flow on this a lot to work with other systems, and you have other Lenovo services like Easy Resume and so forth. So I mean, it does have the crapware on there, but the crapware is pretty. It works compared to like a long time ago, and especially a lot of laptops like to put crapware on there. But I have to say that the crapware that Lenovo puts on is pretty damn decent. So yeah. So yeah. Let's see. All right, anyway, yeah, so that's not really bad at all. Unplugged, I'm surprised, and I don't usually keep it unplugged, but it's reporting as 3 hours and 59 minutes. And again, I'm probably going to go to like, if you go to like, I've already loaded some programs up, and with those services running in the background, and plus the applications are running in the foreground, you can see here I have 4 hours left over. So I really think the BIOS updates have really improved the battery life and the thermals. Again, I cannot hear the fan. And what are we sitting at? Best battery life. Sorry, I'm trying to do the camera and the microphone at the same time. And again, I don't hear fans. Again, I don't hear fans. But this Dell right here, the 5540 Precision, that guy was screaming loud. So this ThinkPad is amazing. I'll see you later. Take care, and I hope this video was somewhat informative for you. And look for more reviews coming out soon. All right, take care. Bye.